Now I'm standing here alone, I'm losing hope. And in the end, my tears are falling to Hashem. So Tate, my king, Father, I plead, don't ever let go of me. Ever let go of me. I need you to realize that I'm lost in my life. So pick me up, help me stand, don't let go of my hand. Tate, my king, Father, I plead, don't ever let go of me. Ever let go of me.
Ay, what a chavura, what a time. It's only makes sense. Only makes sense. The people that are on Bizrat Hashem, B'siyata Dishmaya, the end, giving birth to a new beginning. It's been a couple of years, Baruch Hashem, since we began this chabura, and we're only going to go to the next level. We're only going to go higher and higher and higher because that's what life is ultimately. Wait, let me disable the waiting room. Think the avoda. Think it was clear. Rabbi Nachman states that life could go by 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, and everything looks the same. New York City looks the same. Teaneck looks the same. Herzliya looks the same. Right? The wagons in the street, the Teslas in the street, the markets, right? We still have Grand Essex, we still have Tiptoe. It's going to be the same in 50 years. Rabbi Nachman says, did you ever look up at the sky? Did you ever look up at the sky? So, Chaver, I think the avoda now is for us to look up at the sky a little bit more, and it's for us to internalize what Rabbi Nachman means. And when Donnie came to us a couple of years ago, honestly, it's been 2 years since we started the YouTube channel, and he's like, "Why don't you record, right? The chaburas, right? Because we're doing it for over a year at that point." I'm like, "Why? It's weird, be on YouTube, the chavra, the whole thing." He's like, your kids and grandchildren will be able to see you. So why give that, why pass up on that opportunity? I'm like, you're so right. And it's just something for all of us, for us to show these videos, our chidushim, our words of Torah, connecting with Am Yisrael, to our children, to our grandchildren, to our family members. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. And like Rabbi Nachman states in the Kutei Maharan 222, right, we could use the past inspiration as something that could propel us in the present moment. So whenever we feel like we haven't been learning Torah, or we feel like we're down in our Avodas Hashem, we could always look back to these little boxes on YouTube, little boxes meaning ourselves, sharing a couple words, holy words, and really gaining a lot of inspiration from Avi Karakowski, Baruch Hashem. So, Chaver, without further ado, Atzil B'Shim Kol Yisrael. For Pesach, Reuven ben Yosef Asar, Rachel Bas Yehudis, Yonah Bas Basa, Shir Bas Basa, Sinai Reuven ben Mani, Shal ben Chana Leah, Rivka Bas Razel, Svi ben Chana, Tova Bas Peril, in Blui Nishmat, Yudi Bracha Bas Nechemia, may her Neshama have an Aliyah. So the tefillah really is just to look at the good points within ourselves and to look at the good points within other people. That's the tefillah for tonight. And now we're going to enter into a halacha that we all love, Siman Yud Bet, Seif Bet, in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. It says like this: it is proper to give charity before praying. As it states in Tehillim, Ani b'tzedek echzeh panecha, I shall behold your face through charity. Zrat Hashem chaver, we shall be zocha to give the charity before davening. But the halacha continues. One should also accept upon himself before each prayer the mitzvah of the hafta l'recha kamocha, The fulfillment of you should love your fellow as yourself. We should play the Rabbi Akiva song. And direct his heart to love every one of the Jewish people as he loves himself. Because if, God forbid, there is division between the hearts of the Jewish people below on earth, then correspondingly, there is also no unity among the souls of the Jewish people above in heaven, but a unity between the physical beings of the Jewish people below causes unity and connection between their souls above in heaven. And through this, their prayers are become unified. And then, when their prayers are all combined together in one unified prayer, that prayer finds favor with Hashem. May his name be blessed. So at Hashem Chevra, we're just going to be focusing on the midah of love, the Haftarah Kamocha today. We all know from the Chavetz Chaim. The Chavetz Chaim says that the same way the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of Sinat Chinam is the same way it's going to be rebuilt through Avat Chinam. So Chavra, Avat Chinam, that's what we're going for right now. Says Rav Aaron of Karlin, written by the master, the Hasidic master, Eli Wiesel, in Somewhere a Master, on page 29, if you have it. It says, here's a word of advice, which he was fond of repeating. So this is Rav Aaron of Karlin. He would always repeat it to the Chavra, wherever he was. When Hasidim meet, like we're meeting right now, he said they would do well to study the Zohar, the book of splendor, in which creation's primary secrets are waiting to be uncovered. If that proved to be too hard, too difficult, let them open up the Talmud and study together. Be it only one page, one problem. Thus they would go back in time to the sages, the scribes, and the prophets, and finally to Moses. If the Talmud too should prove inaccessible to them, let them open up the Bible and read the portion of the week and its commentaries, and thus be in touch with eternal truth. If that also should be too difficult, let them simply tell one another a Hasidic tale, thou great masters in their saintly ways. And if heaven forbid, they don't even know or remember any such stories, let them sing a Hasidic niggin together, which, as everyone knows, is the key to the higher spheres and sanctuaries. But what if, Chavra, what if they don't know a niggin? Well, in that case, let them love one another. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff from Aram of Karlin. So now we enter into the story. A chassid once came to Rav Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev and said, Holy Master, I hate to bother you, but I have to travel to Lublin and I don't have a passport. I know I could go to the police and get one, but you know what happens to a Jew here in Russia. The moment the police know about him, it means nothing but trouble. And I don't want the authorities to know I even exist. Please, Rabbi, is there some way you could help me get the passport I need? The Berditchever said, wait here. He went into the private room and came out a few minutes later holding a blank piece of paper. Here's your passport, he said, giving the paper to the chassid. Then seeing the expression on his student's face, he added, don't worry. With this passport, you won't need anything more. Can you imagine how much faith it takes to come to a border and hand the guard a blank piece of paper? But this chassid was on a level. He had absolute trust in his Rebbe, as we see the Bavitcher Rebbe behind Kira, or maybe the foreground, which is Kira himself. He ran home. He ran home, packed his things, and set off for Lublin. When he came to the Polish border, he took a deep breath, said a silent prayer, and handed the soldier the Berditchever's passport, the blank piece of paper. The officer studied the blank piece of paper for a moment and then started saluting the chassid. What a privilege to meet such an exalted person. It's the greatest honor of my whole life. On behalf of the Polish government, I'd like to offer you whatever help I can on your journey. Perhaps a horse and a carriage would make your travels more comfortable. Now this chassid was a poor man. He mamish never ridden in a carriage in his whole life. Wherever he went in Poland, He showed the Berditchever passport, and all the gates were instantly opened. He was treated like a king. His trip was a gewalt, and he returned home b'shalom, in peace. So, Chaver, we all know that at the beginning of this whole Chabura, we used to conclude with going through each person and saying where they're from, what they're doing in life, how they're changing the world, as Kira knows very well. But we all know the person who joined the Rebbe, the true Rebbe of this Chabura, Rav Samson. Rav Samson is in a degree where he's really connecting bridges between people, between the world, working on the mathematics, the different angles, calculations on the bridges. But it's unbelievable. As you see with the boxes right here on the Zoom, there's bridges between every single person. But how worrisome would it be? How unfortunate would it be if we studied the passport? If we went through all the details in the world, you did that wrong, you did that wrong. You're not wearing the nicest brand in the world. You didn't give a smile when I expected a smile. You didn't say words that entered in my heart, therefore why ever listen again?
My God, Steb, you're still in Hanukkah.
What just happened there?
Too much light. Spirits like Caleb.
Was that Rav Yair?
Yeah, it was Rav Yair. Spirits like Caleb.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wow. He's probably texting 5-star early before, but anyways. So yeah, the bridges. We're just building bridges. And Mamish accepting people all the time is the most important thing in the world. As we all know from Biyam Darkecha, that we have to immediately look at the Chelik Elokami Mal Mamish in every single person. The Nefesh Elokus at all points. And to end off, and to open it up to everyone else, is the deer, the parable from Rabbi Nachman. Once a king was pursuing a deer, but he could not catch it. The royal ministers caught up with him and said, "Your Majesty, let's go back. I must capture the deer," replied the king. "But whoever wishes to go back can go back." So Chevra, on top of the building bridges, this is the essence of showing up every single day, wherever we are, whether we're in New York City, RL University, Teaneck, New Jersey, on the bus, guarding the borders, in front of the Hanukkah candles. Every situation, every setting, people around us will be like, why click on the link? Why open up a sefer? Why listen to a song? Why smile? But what Rabbi Nachman is telling us through this parable is that we look at those people, we look at the settings, we look at our circumstances, and we tell them, you could go back. I'm going to continue to search. B'ezrat Hashem Chavra, we should continue to search till May Basrim. Never give up. Even if we're fasting for 364 days and we break our fast on the wine pool, on the apple tree, finally to meet the princess. And we think we're broken, we think we're at the end. But the chiddush is that we can renew again. Never give up. Questions, comments, please feel free. The lost princess.
It's just the moon, got your passport.
Jack,
Really is.
I think what you've taught us all through this Chabura is this whole idea of stealing Torah. I mean, I'm at work right now. I've got people outside my office who want to come in and meet with me. And I'm pretending to be on some business call right now, but I'm stealing Torah. It's 10 minutes. Stealing Torah. You could do it anywhere. You could be on a bus. You could be on an army base. You could be in a yeshiva. You could be anywhere. And we always have the opportunity to grab the moment and to steal Torah. And this is what I think you really, you've taught us every time, like you've you've had a long day and you've come back to Herzliya and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you still were kaveh itim. You did it, right? No one was on. You still did it because there's some kid in some yeshiva who wants to listen to this every day, even though he's not coming on live. So I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you. We're all proud of you. And this is, his chachut, as I told you earlier today, this is the beginning of something new for you. And I can't wait for the next episode.
I'm gonna piggyback. It's my first and last time on Stealing Torah. It took 510 links for me to finally click. But I'm gonna be a mom and just tell you, Jack, that we could not be prouder of you. Every time we think we can't be any more proud, you do something to make us even more proud. And 510, I think you should have gone till 613. I think that would have been like a good number to stop. No pressure. But in all seriousness, you are such a role model for all of us, for everyone. And YouTube is lucky to have your 510 videos up there. And I love you and I'm proud of you. And thank you.
Love you guys.
Getting too mushy for prime time.
It's all good. It's all good. We have half a viewer anyways. All right. Chavra, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And let's just continue to go higher and higher and higher. It's never the end. Sof b'maseh b'machshava tchila. Right. So Shabbos, we all know Shabbos. So this is the new transition into the next stage of stealing Torah. Right. So we all know a couple months ago, Licha Dodi, we're sitting there in Herzliya, and I look at this line. I don't really know Hebrew. And I'm like, Sof b'maseh b'machshava tchila. Doesn't make sense. Right. The seventh day of creation, right? Shabbos, the day of rest. We all know, and we think it's at the end of the week. But what is Licha Dodi telling us? What's revealing to us? That it's b'machshava tchila. It was the first thought. So when we think we're at the end, we're at the beginning. So Chavra, Zrat Hashem, we'll be sending out the voice notes every Sunday, and we'll be sending the Raising Sparks every Friday. And the end is the beginning. Be well.
Amen. Amen.
Be well.